Hi, it's Kiffin Lebates here, and I got asked by quite a few people what happens when you get a fork in a blockchain and you have two sort of competing chains, both trying to be the canonical one view of the truth chain for the blockchain, like happened with the fork when Bitcoin upgraded from 0.7 to 0.8. And the answer there when it comes to transactions is that eventually one of the chains will win out and the miners will switch to that one, and then the other chain won't be mined anymore, so that kills that off, and all the transactions on that other chain are now no longer valid. So if you spent, for example, Bitcoin on the 0.8 fork chain, you would get to spend it on the 0.7 fork chain as well, and the person who received that coin on the 0.8 chain wouldn't be able to spend it because there's no longer miners mining future blocks. So that's what it means for that chain to be dead. On the other hand, if the miners had never agreed on which chain was the canonical one, then the two would continue in parallel, and then you would end up with the Bitcoin that you held before the fork being present on both of the chains, and you'd be able to spend it on both of them. So if you'd made a purchase on the 0.8 chain, you'd also be able to make a purchase on the 0.7 chain. Now, there would be a problem with that because the two chains are running on well, not exactly the same software, but basically using the same protocol, except for this one small difference that actually caused the fork, which is that the 0.8 software allowed for larger block sizes than the 0.7, and that's why the 0.7 was rejecting them. So there was a sort of subtle difference between the two chains, and this is what happens when people on purpose go and create a fork. For example, the Bitcoin Cash fork from the Bitcoin Classic chain, or Bitcoin Gold, or whatever one you want to look at. And what happens there again is that if you have coin on one chain and then it forks into two with two competing parties, you end up having coin on both of those chains. So it's kind of free money in a way. I saw a nice analogy which said that when you have a fork and it's not yet resolved, the situation is a bit like a quantum mechanical event, in that it's not fully decided until the box is opened and you can see whether the cat is dead or alive. It's not fully resolved until one or the other chains wins out and the other one dies off. That's when it all sort of collapses down into a singular state, and now you know what actually really happened in the past. So I think that kind of stuff's quite interesting, and hope you found this video informative and useful. See you in the next video soon. Bye for now.